AEW have aired the footage of the backstage brawl between CM Punk and Jack Perry. On Saturday night, the same night as night 1 of WrestleMania 40, All Elite Wrestling would announce that they were set to air the unseen backstage footage from AEW All in London, with it being confirmed by Wrestling Observer and Fightful that the intention was to air the backstage fight between Jack Perry and CM Punk, the footage that led to the unanimous decision to fire CM Punk with cause. This appeared to be in response to an interview with the Second City Saint on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, where he would give his side of the AEW backstage drama from the past couple of years. So let's fast forward to last night, where the Young Bucks appeared backstage in front of a monitor, with Matt Jackson donning a Scapegoat t-shirt in honor of Jack Perry, who we assume is set to return from his excursion from New Japan to join the Elite. Nick Jackson would start by plugging the date and name of the upcoming AEW Dynasty pay-per-view, where the Young Bucks will meet FTR in the finals of the AEW Tag Team title tournament, which will be the first time they've wrestled since that infamous night in London. They would explain that the backstage incident involving the two individuals was the distraction that led to their loss later that night, a kayfabe reason for showing the footage. Matt Jackson would then quote a CM Punk line from a time he appeared on commentary in AEW, where he would say that if you got a problem with Jack Perry, chances are you're the problem, albeit a line said in reference to the babyface character on screen rather than the person behind the camera. They would then accuse FTR of being behind Punk's confrontation with Perry due to the team being friends with him, seemingly a reference to the blame that they received for the leaked rumor that CM Punk got Colt Cabana fired. And Nick would say, the other individual tried to make this entire show about himself. Matter of fact, this individual happens to be good friends with FTR, which got me thinking maybe FTR were the masterminds behind this entire thing. Matt would then jump in and say that you can't just spread rumors and bash someone on a public forum like that, before they agreed that that would be unprofessional, again seemingly a reference to the media scrum. Matt would then say that the Bucks had no time to hydrate or even pray, as they had to put on their EVP caps, before saying that there should be a giant asterisk next to FTR's win in London. Matt would also say that the incident threatened to bring down AEW's biggest ever show, but they're lucky it didn't, and then they would roll the clip. So the footage itself shows multiple people in the backstage area by the entranceway, where we can see Jack Perry being seen to by a member of the medical team, who you have to guess is removing glass from his bag. You then see CM Punk entering the shot to confront him over the real glass line that was clearly aimed at him, before the two go on to talk for about 20 seconds. Whilst there's no audio, this is what CM Punk explained was said on the MMA Hour.
And I walk up to him and I'm just like, Jack, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit, like on TV, you know? And he's just like, well, if you got a problem about it, do something about it. And I was just like, man, come on, man. You know, I'll kill you. Like, what are we doing?
The footage then shows Punk shove Perry, which I think is the only thing Punk missed from his description of events, before locking in a front face lock. Samoa Joe then runs over to split them up, as does Chris Hero, Paul Turner and Jerry Lynn, the latter two being the referee and agent for Punk's match with Samoa Joe that was up next, before Punk focuses attention towards somebody behind the monitors, presumably Tony Khan. Chris Hero would then pull Punk away, and again, there's no audio on the clip, so here's what Punk told Helwani that he said to Khan.
And then I quit. I turned to Tony and I said, this place is a f***ing joke, man. You're a clown. I quit.
After this, Punk walks away and is followed by Malachi Black, who just entered the shot, who I assume is one of the people that Punk brought with him, this before the footage ends. The show would then cut back to the Young Bucks, where Matt would say, that wasn't the worst part about this entire thing, not even close. For me, the worst part about this whole thing is creating a wrestling show, naming a wrestling show, filling the building with the most people that have ever witnessed a wrestling show, only to be so distracted by something so stupid that you lose on your big night. And then at the end, FTR, you have the balls to stick your hand out and ask us to shake your damn hands. Nick would then say that they won't be shaking the hands of FTR at Dynasty, bringing this part of the segment to an end. However, this would immediately lead into the arena, where FTR would make their way to the ring to address the Bucks, with commentary selling this as unplanned. FTR would then cut a great promo representing the fans that want to move on from this drama. They would then declare that they will beat the Young Bucks at Dynasty. So let's take a look at what the intention of this whole thing was, and well, did it work? Firstly, I've seen a lot of people say that AEW AEW were attempting to embarrass CM Punk by showing the footage. However, if this was the intent, it hasn't exactly worked. The footage showed that Punk wasn't lying during the interview with Ariel, albeit he didn't mention the shove that immediately led into a choke, but other than that, he was pretty spot on. This isn't to say that Punk was right for attacking Perry, but it at least gives him the credibility for telling the truth. It's also worth noting that even the AEW fans in the arena would begin to chant CM Punk as the footage was shown, and would do so later on during the Elite's beatdown on PAC. The second apparent intent was to bring interest to Dynamite and ultimately the Dynasty pay-per-view. Now there's two ways of looking at this. It's kind of embarrassing that AEW has to resort to using the footage to draw eyes to Dynamite. However, the reality is that the footage has people talking. Now the trick is, did this increase the viewership for the segment compared to how many would have tuned in without the footage, say for a segment billed as simply Young Bucks addressed the backstage incident at All In without the clip? I think showing the footage did bring eyes to the show that wouldn't have watched otherwise, and I think the talent made the best of the situation as to sell people on the match. Whether it will actually result in increased business for the show will only be known once we know the gate for Dynasty and how many pay-per-views were sold, so we have to reserve judgment on that. For now, the reaction isn't good, and neither is needing to use one of WWE's biggest names to draw viewers, but as I say, until we know if those viewers have been converted into paying customers, then we won't know if it was worth it. So now who came out looking worse? Well, it wasn't CM Punk, as nothing damning that we didn't already know came out of this. Jack Perry does look weak, although he will likely be treated as a hero by the die-hard AEW fans that hate CM Punk, which I suppose is a good position to be in. But at the same time, if he's returning as a heel, then how does that work? Well, I guess we'll see. FTR came out looking like the sound, reasonable guys in this situation, with their promo essentially being how the vast majority of fans feel about this whole drama, and it's likely somewhat how they feel in real life. The Young Bucks were given a platform to respond to many of the things said about them, including the accusations that they spread the Colt Cabana rumor, although they addressed it indirectly, which was refreshing to hear from them rather than through the Elite camp leaks to the media. As for Tony Khan, whose decision it was to actually air the footage, he comes out looking the worst by far. It's difficult to speak on his behalf, but publicly claiming to have feared for his life before later showing the footage of what was enlarged a team incident comes off really bad, but at the same time, perhaps he's never been around a fight in his life, and we don't know what it's like to be the son of a billionaire, so it is what it is. This whole drama simply comes down to his mismanagement of the entire situation. Khan should have cleared up the Colt Cabana was fired because of CM Punk rumor much earlier. He should have punished Hangman Page for going off script during his promo with CM Punk. He should have punished Punk for his response to Hangman. He should have cut Punk off during the all-out media scrum. He should have sat everybody down after Brawl Out to put his foot down as the Elite and CM Punk's boss, and he should have dealt with Jack Perry as soon as he got through the curtain at All In. And perhaps if he did one of these things sooner, the rest wouldn't have happened, and the incident at All In wouldn't have happened. And showing this footage only highlights his complete mismanagement. He was right to fire CM Punk, but Khan even had to do that through a disciplinary committee instead of taking the responsibility on himself as the owner of the company, and even had to use the excuse that he feared for his life to justify it. Anyway, CM Punk himself has responded to the Dynamite segment on his Instagram story, where he would post the George Bush mission accomplished meme, which is obviously used in a sarcastic way. For those unaware of the reference, Know Your Meme says, "Since gaining widespread recognition as one of the most unflattering moments in Bush presidency, the phrase mission accomplished has been sarcastically referenced to imply that either mission of dubious value was completed or that a major error was made." CM Punk isn't the only person to have reacted to the segment, as former AEW and current NXT star Shawn Spears shared a gif on X of somebody throwing a gym ball at a wall and it coming back to hit them in the face. WWE's Cedric Alexander would share a clip of Dave Chappelle saying, "Even if he did do it, you know what I mean?" playing the backstage incident off as not that deep. WWE's Corey Graves would share a gif of his own, this time from The Wizard of Oz, when the wizard is revealed, with the text, "Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain," seemingly a shot at Tony Khan's mismanagement of the entire situation. And Forbes has also taken a jab at AEW, listing the segment as a win for CM Punk over Jack Perry. The Young Bucks have posted to X to simply write EV Petty, playing up to the things that they're being called online, but as I say, only time will tell if this will actually generate money for AEW or simply put people off for good. According to Dave Meltzer, the segment hasn't gone down too well inside AEW either, with many within the company questioning the decision to air the backstage footage at all, and last night on Wrestling Observer Radio he would say, "My thought is, you need to get past this. It does nobody any good. I heard from people this week, a couple people, when Punk did his interview. I asked around and the basic thing was, look, it's over with and done with. Bad chapter in the history of AEW and it's over. And he can say whatever he wants. Who cares?" There were a couple of people who were like, yeah, Adam Page never got to answer back and will never answer back because he doesn't want to be whatever. But most people were just like, we're over it. It's not part of our lives. It's not part of our company. Forget about it. Now here, as soon as Tony did that, then I started hearing from people, and it was people who were just like really frustrated, going like, now it's back, the whole thing is back, there's things that have happened and people have been made to look bad now and they can't answer back. It opened up a wound that needed to be closed. They need to move past this. This doesn't do AEW any good. If I am Punk, I'm laughing about it. Now look, we did want this drama to be turned into an angle, and here we have it. I think it's the only way to make it go away, but it would of course be better if CM Punk was actually still in AEW, but he's gone and he's happier now, so I guess everybody wins. I'm kind of looking forward to see where this goes next, but I don't know the effect it will have on AEW as a company, and the promos at least have me more interested in the match. But what did you make of the footage being aired, and did FTR and the Young Bucks make the best of a bad situation, and will it actually draw money for AEW going forward? Let me know what you think in the comments down below.